caregiver found guilty of 2 felonies. Hear from the victim's family about the verdict and what comes next. And a crime caught on camera. We're getting our first look at the suspect accused of slashing dozens of tires in one South Bend neighborhood. Plus, how you can help police identify him.
From ABC 57 Studios and broadcast all across Michiana, this is ABC 57 News, Night Team.
Thanks for joining us for ABC 57 Night Team. I'm Samantha Johns in for Tim and Tiffany tonight. Right now, authorities in Washington, D.C. are confirming a suspect is dead after an active threat shooting situation that left at least 4 people hurt. Officials saying the cause of death appears to be suicide. It happened in the northwest portion of the city, about 4 miles from the White House. Officials confirmed 2 of the victims, both men, are in critical but stable condition. A 12-year-old girl is also recovering in the hospital but is expected to be okay. The 4th victim, a woman in her 60s, was treated on the spot for a graze wound to her upper back. Originally, investigators were searching for this Virginia man, 23-year-old Raymond Spencer, as a person of interest. They still haven't said whether he's the same suspect found dead. And tonight, some parts of Michiana are seeing scattered showers. Dave, we've been seeing rain all day. It's supposed to be warm tomorrow. Can you tell us what the weekend's going to look like?
Yeah,
A Marshall County family is speaking out following the guilty verdict of their disabled son's caregiver. A judge made the decision Wednesday, convicting Ashley Humphrey of 2 felonies, battery of a disabled person resulting in bodily injury, and strangulation. I sat down with the victim and his loved ones earlier today. They say they're grateful to have a sense of relief after waiting almost 3 years for justice to be served. Humphrey is due back in court for sentencing on May 17th. He faces up to 7 years behind bars. Developing tonight, a crime caught on camera. Video released by the South Bend Police Department. Sign at Dollar Tree in Bremen is going viral. You can see it right here on the screen behind me. The author saying they were only looking to hire baby boomers and not Gen Zs after 2 young female cashiers quit because they were told their boyfriends couldn't be there with them at work. ABC 57's Naja Woods visited the dollar store in Bremen after speaking with customers and the Chamber of Commerce about the sign that technically falls into age discrimination. Police need your help bringing felony fugitives to justice. Your anonymous tips could help get some fugitives off the street and get you $200 cash if your tip leads to their arrest. Here's a look at this week's wanted suspects. We start this week with Lawrence Slaughter. Lawrence is wanted out of Michigan for violation of a court order for the original charges of attempted assault on a police officer and obstruction. Next is Joseph Suslin. Joseph is also wanted out of several counties in Michigan. Joseph is wanted after an officer attempted to conduct a traffic stop, and instead of stopping, he stepped on the gas, accelerating to over 100 miles per hour. In the chase, racing straight through a stop arm of a toll road gate. The officer had to give up his pursuit after Joseph hit Michigan, but found out who the driver was after identifying the owner of the car, which happened to be Joseph's sister. He is wanted for 2 counts of possession of meth, failure to appear for possession of meth, and 2 counts of resisting law enforcement. This is Cecil Houston. Houston is wanted after his parole officer saw him receiving a gun from a woman. He was then pulled over for traffic violations where canine units gave a positive alert for marijuana in the vehicle. Houston is wanted for possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon. And our last fugitive this week is Kristen Kerr. Kristen is wanted for allegedly fleeing from police and causing a crash in March last year. Investigators attempted to conduct a traffic stop on Kristen's vehicle because she was wanted on a felony warrant, but she didn't pull over and eventually crashed. Kerr is wanted for violation of a court order with the original charges of unlawful possession of a syringe, possession of meth, and resisting law enforcement. If you know where any of these people might be, give Michiana Crime Stoppers a call at 574-288-STOP. You can remain anonymous, and you could also get a $200. Trending tonight, changes to the big screen. AMC Theater is installing Barco laser projectors into 3,500 of its auditoriums over the next few years. Laser-based systems create brighter images and more contrast than the ones made by old-school xenon lamps. Adam Aaron, the CEO of AMC, says the goal is to keep, quote, an eye to the future of moviegoing. The installation process is expected to start within the next few months and could be complete by late 2026. And this isn't so much breaking news as it is news about breaking Oreos, that is. A newly published MIT study examined something Oreo eaters have been trying to figure out for decades. Is a perfectly even split possible when separating the sandwich cookie? I'll have to try it when I look home, but finally, someone's tackling the important science questions. The study was led by MIT PhD candidate and self-proclaimed Oreologist Crystal Owens, who not only used complex math and physics to try and crack the cookie cracking case, but alas, her team ultimately concluded that there was no way to get the delectable and dissectable cookie to split evenly. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to keep eating Oreos the way I always have, by the sleeve. And an axe used in Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is up for auction. The prop used in one of the most iconic horror films of all time is expected to fetch as much as $100,000. But the axe might not be as dangerous as you would expect. It's hard not to take a shine to The Shining's infamous axe. The latest one up for auction is a lightweight version. Gotta have rockandroll.com is auctioning off the axe with hopes it sells for over $100,000. There were several actual axes with metal heads used in the famous store chopping scene. Planet Hollywood in Florida says it has one of the metal axes, and Vanity Fair tracked down collector Matthew Dalton, who bought another for $208,000. And we'll have more coming up after the break. Day tomorrow. Can you talk a little bit about what we're expecting?
Yeah,
Thanks so much for joining us for ABC 57 Night Team at 10. I'm Samantha Johns.
And I'm Dave Caulfield.
Have a great night. We'll see you at 11.